We will be recording tonight's presentation. That way we can share it with other families that might be interested in the program that might not have been able to make it with us. So hopefully that's okay for everybody that we're recording. Everybody good? Okay, great. Mary, do we want to get started or the next slide? All right. So Pine Tree Camp is a summer camp for children and adults with special needs. People can come to camp and they participate in recreational activities that Maine is known for all year round. So we're a little bit more than a summer camp. We're actually able to offer programming on a year-round basis. I'm really excited about that. And so the program that we're offering and that we're talking about tonight, we decided to name it the Dirigo Experience. And it is for deaf and hard of hearing children that are ages 11 to 14. And as we've been working and building the program, we knew it was really important to kind of offer this experience for this particular age group of children. And we really looked at a lot of how we wanted to design the camp. And the camp is really going to be uniquely designed to build confidence, social skills, leadership skills for those preteens and young adults, through really guiding them through a really immersive outdoor experience. So just, providing that opportunity for people to work together, grow together in this great natural environment and natural setting, in a camp setting.
And I apologize. I realized I did not introduce myself at the beginning.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Mary. Okay. I just started talking.
So my name is Mary. I'm the assistant director at camp. And one of my big roles that I do at camp is the programming and the things that actually happen day to day at camp. So sorry, let one more person in. So kind of what we are thinking that this experience will be made up of is how we learn those skills, the leadership activities, the team building are going to happen and be a big part of the programming. But one of our biggest things that we love to do is just be in nature. So all of those things will happen out in nature, as well as campers being able to have access to everything that we're known for at camp, such as, swimming, boating, biking, kayaking. Everyone's going to have a chance to camp outdoors for the night. There's just so many things and so many ways that we can be creative with our space in which we're going to kind of design this day, or this 4 days, or so 5 days, actually. I'm sorry, I'm being confusing. 5 days, 4 nights, that we're going to have a lot of time to play with here. All right. So in terms of, how do we meet those goals? So we've set these goals of having this program started to really focus on the leadership, having a peer group, having role models out in the community, having people, as a touch point beyond camp. We really want to make sure that this is not just a one-time thing. We want this group to be able to come back together and continue to grow and lead and be eventually brought up into mentor spaces. So what we do at camp specifically is we have this methodology of challenge by choice. We will provide situations, we will provide activities, we will provide opportunities for campers to try new things, to make new friends through that choice, to be able to, I think, grow as individuals in this space of also having, being really supported, and it's safe, and it just allows people the opportunity to be brave, while having a lot of fun at the same time. So if you hear that concept of challenge by choice, that's what that means, is that it's your choice to choose what challenges you want to take on throughout the week, knowing that you have tons of people around you to support you.
Yeah.
Right on.
Great. No, I was just going to say, really setting up an environment like that really allows for so much growth and individual growth to happen, that it's amazing to see. So you think only in a short few days we wouldn't be able to do something like that, but it really it really does happen. The magic of being outdoors is what I like to think of it as.
Yeah. All right. So I know that, 11 to 14, why did we pick that age? I think it's one, I just think on top of it all, it's just a great opportunity to allow this program to grow into itself. And I'm sure, Kevin, you're going to touch on this point as well. But we don't want this camp to be a one-time thing, right? We don't want it to just be a summer program. We want there to be opportunities throughout the entire year that allow this group of students to come together and then to continue to grow that group of students and get bigger and bigger every year. So what we really chose to do was pick this 11 to 14 group of students that can grow into their leadership and eventually take on some mentorship opportunities, some leadership roles at camp, to fall in love with camping and hopefully continue to be a part of the program beyond just this year. And so that age group really allows this program to grow into itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
So yeah. So the staff that we have that we're going to have working will be a mixture of volunteers and our own Pine Tree Camp staff. Our goal is really to create an environment where the campers that are coming in have their own set of mentors and their own set of role models that will really help them go through this process of attending camp. So it'll be a mixture of deaf adults that will work in the cabins with us, as well as our own program staff that are kind of set up to run our activities and that type of thing. So we're really looking forward to having that really nice interconnected group of staff to support the campers and help them move through the stages at camp.
So I think this also brings a call back to, especially I think if you're looking to sign up a camper who's 13, 14, keeping this in mind in that process as well, that eventually there's an opportunity to then become a volunteer, become a mentor. I think also having the program designed, this being the first year, we really want this to be a collaborative process between not just our staff and volunteers, but also the campers that are attending, to really curate their experience to how they want it to look. If you love leading activities and you love doing certain things, I think there's going to be opportunities for you to showcase those skills and be able to take on some of those roles in the future. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about signing up. I'll let you touch on this one, Dawn.
Sure. So how do I apply? That's the first thing that most people ask about. So we use an online camper application and camper data collection process, and it's called CampMinder, which it doesn't really matter that much about CampMinder, but it is all the link for it is on our website, the pinetreesociety.org. And a lot of times people will ask how much it costs. And so if we're looking at the actual cost for a 5-day, 4-night experience of programming, it would be about $1,600. But we do have tuition assistance available if needed through our program with Pine Tree Society, as well as through the Baxter Foundation. But part of what we do at Pine Tree Camp is we provide what we call our open door policy. So we never turn anyone away based on their inability to pay. So we really want to make sure that cost of camp helps us understand what the value of it is, but doesn't prohibit anybody from coming to camp. So we want to make it as open as possible. And we've been doing that for over 75 years. We raise money all year long to send kids to camp. So we really want to make sure that that's not a barrier for families or for campers.
Okay. So what we'll do is once we stop sharing our screen, I'll make sure to actually put the direct link to the application in the chat so people can kind of click it. I'll put the link to our website. And then throughout the application, in terms of how to gain access to tuition assistance, that's actually involved in the application. So there's no secondary thing you have to do for it. It's all in one space. And then Kevin will talk about further the Baxter Foundation and how to approach them for assistance as well. So we'll kind of have a full opportunity to learn about what that is.
And the application is fairly straightforward, and it walks you right through all the steps. If you've ever done any type of online application, it's very simple. It has all the things that we need to be able to support the campers. And it also just has all the information that you might need. So, and we're always available to help with that process.
Okay.
All right.
So unfortunately, COVID's still a
here. Yeah.
It is still where we're at. The dates of this program, which fall in August 24th to the 28th, are at the end of August. So we're hoping that, things start to try and get themselves in order by then. But right now I'll turn it to Dawn and she'll talk through just some of the policies we have in place at this moment. And then everyone who signs up for the program and who will continue to be updated about how those policies will evolve and grow throughout the summer.
So yeah, basically we didn't run our overnight portion of our camps the last 2 summers. So the way that we were able to open this year is we really wanted to make sure that we were kind of creating a vaccinated environment, a vaccinated community of folks. So we do require that not only campers come to camp with having the COVID vaccine, but we also require all of our staff as well. So we really want to make sure that everybody is doing their best to kind of keep everybody else safe. We've done a bit of reducing our capacity to be able to come to camp. So the biggest piece for a lot of times for camps is that sleeping component. So when you're all sleeping in the same space and you have to unmask to sleep, it's really important for us to be able to kind of space people out. We have very big cabins that typically would sleep up to 18 campers and 6 staff. So they're very good size, and they're fairly new within the last 10 to 12 years. And so they have really good air exchange systems. So they have a really updated HVAC and airflow system. So we're really excited about that. I know that's something that not everybody thinks about, but it's stuff that we think about. Mary and I do every day. So we're happy that we have that. We still will require people to wear a mask when they're inside if they're not eating, or but if they're sitting in their group in eating, then they would be able to take their mask off. And we will continue to wear, access and look at our mask policy as we move forward if things change. But we felt like we need to go kind of to the highest extreme to make sure we keep everybody safe. And if things are looking better as we move through closer to August, we'll be able to kind of ease back on some of that stuff. But most of the time we're outside. We wouldn't have to have a mask as long as we could stay as long as we could stay distanced. So we've had very good and positive luck over the last couple of years with exposure. So we feel confident that we can keep everybody safe, but all those pieces put together make it why we can keep it all safe.
We also have a fantastic nursing team on our side and a camp physician that kind of keeps track of all of those things. So in the event that something were to happen at camp, we do have the capability to handle that and be able to have procedures in place to help out.
Thank you for rubbing that.
So what I will do again is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to shortly turn it over to Kevin. And I think I saw Josh come on, which is great. And I realized that the slide that has the actual dates and number of openings for the program got lost. It's not in the format. So I will put all of that information into the chat, and then a follow-up email will be going out to everybody who registered to this webinar with that information as well. I apologize about that. And we are going to stay on to answer any questions that come in that we can clear up for everybody. All right, Kevin, you've got it.
Yes, I would just like to add a couple of things before we hit the Q&A part of the session. I want to expand a little bit more about this program. Oh, and by the way, my name is Kevin Boland. And I work with the Maine Education Center for Deaf and Hard of Hearing in Falmouth. So I want to say thank you to Josh Seal for having us collaborate on this. I think we make a great team, and it'll be a fantastic program for the students and the youth here in Maine. So I've worked with many different deaf and hard of hearing camps for a while, all over the country. And once I got here in Maine, I realized, okay, I'm really excited to be a part of this first model for deaf and hard of hearing students here in Maine, which for me in particular is a huge honor. I do want to mention a few things about why I feel this program is worthwhile for deaf and hard of hearing youth here in the state of Maine to participate in. So let me look at my notes real quick. So number one, there are not enough opportunities for deaf and hard of hearing youth to learn how to lead, to build those skills, to have those social opportunities, those outside of an academic environment. So for the past couple of years with COVID especially, it's been incredibly limiting opportunities. So many of our youth have felt isolated, and there's just a lack of social skills, and the ones that they did have declined. So this camp is going to bolster that and hope for the long run. So also this program is going to be able to provide, like I said, leadership support, training for the deaf and hard of hearing youth who attend, to help them to develop their academic skills, their leadership skills, their character in an outdoor environment, as opposed to within the four walls of a classroom that they're in almost year round. So this gives them a chance to get out and to get some fresh air and to experience that. So the outcomes of these programs with the children who will participate, as you will see, there's a great opportunity for experiences for self-identification, for them to sort of learn about themselves as a deaf or hard of hearing youth. It will increase their confidence, their self-esteem, and their advocacy skills too, which is so important. It's such an important tool as they navigate through life. Also, this program, I feel like, is going to really push them to build your child's character, like I mentioned, and to develop their interpersonal skills and how to resolve potential conflicts among the students, and really to how to navigate communication barriers and to get through that, and to also to allow your child to understand really how to make a well-informed decision. And so just to sort of wrap up my little piece of the program here, I do want everyone to think of the famous proverb that says, tell me and I'll forget. Show me and I'll remember. Involve me and I will learn continually. All right, so I'll give the floor now to Josh if he has anything else that he would like to elaborate on. All right, I apologize for being late. I was helping my mother change some lights in her house and time got away from me. So thank you very much. I'm the director of the interpreting services at Pine Tree Society. And I thought this is just a great opportunity to use the Pine Tree Camp to benefit our community. I think it's really cool. It's a great opportunity, and I'm very excited to get this going. And really, Kevin just mentioned everything beautifully. So I'm just really excited to see sort of some of my former students that I taught at the deaf school. Now they've grown up and they're at a place where they can lead. And so I'm very excited. This is my son here beside me. Okay, that's it.
This is Kevin. I just want to add too that the folks that are in this meeting, I'm so thrilled to see you. There are so many people who I have known for a while that are on the site-based programs or maybe out in our mainstream programs. And I just want to spread awareness that your peers, your parents, coordinators, please spread the word. Tell everyone about the camp. We want this program to thrive.
Mhm.
I'm also going to be sharing the link for the Baxter Foundation so that you can sign up and get support for funding if you need that. If you need help in signing up for the program, I will send that now. Actually, I'll share that in the chat.
Excellent.
There it is.
Perfect.
I know we've said a lot of things, but does anybody have any questions that are either specific to what we're going to do or how we're going to do it?
This is Josh. It looks like Matt has a comment.
This is Matt. Hi, I'm Matt Callahan. I have a son who's 13 and I'm planning to send him to camp, or I'm curious too. So how many campers are you thinking you're going to get this year? Just a rough estimate. And do you expect to keep it just Mainers? Or are we accepting applicants from out of state or New England? Or what are you thinking for scope of the program? I'm just wondering if, as far as numbers, what it's going to look like if you're going to keep it just Mainers or outside of Maine.
This is Josh. Right. So we have a limit right now of 30. Maine, I think we can accept New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island as well if we need to add more, but we have a maximum of 30 for the moment. Now that number may increase as we go through the next few weeks.
And this is Kevin. I just forgot to mention something that's actually really important. Dawn and Mary, they might have mentioned this, that the camp and the staff, most of them are going to be workers of Pine Tree. So they've been at summer camp, they've been in the program. Josh and myself, however, we would be collaborating with the camp. And we would be doing that by sort of identifying and finding several deaf or hard of hearing volunteers, maybe even people from outside of Maine who would come and support the program and support our youth. Some of these folks have really amazing backgrounds and experience. Maybe they've worked for AmeriCorps, or we have one staff person who is a social worker for the state of New Hampshire. There's another person who had actually set up their own agricultural program and agricultural school. So that's pretty cool. So we've got all kinds of folks who we're hoping to bring into the camp. It's so exciting. I'm really thrilled to have all these different people. Maine is really, we're going to show them what Maine is made of, you know?
This is Josh. Are there any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions? No? Okay.
This is Cheyenne. She's saying, hi. Hi, Jason. Hi, Josh. Hi, Cheyenne. Nice to see you. Is Safine? Oh, there's Safine. Hi, Safine. Hi, Liz.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Oh, Matt.
Oh, Matt, do you have something that you wanted to say?
I just saw the link and I started to text you about this. I just wanted to clarify. If you're going to want to be volunteering, or if I wanted to volunteer, how do I go about figuring the cost out and so forth? Does that factor into the tuition, or how does that work?
Mary, Dawn, do you want to talk about that?
I was going to say we hadn't really thought about that, but typically we don't charge volunteers to attend, but that may be able to help reduce the cost for someone, for a family member coming. So that's a good question. We'll have to work through it with everybody, but
Oh,
Oh,
no,
sorry.
sorry. Just about the application, not volunteering.
Oh, yes, we will have a volunteer application. We're getting that one all put together. We have the start of it. And we will have, oops, go ahead.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
No, so he's saying the sign for volunteer looks very much like application. He's saying, I don't want to volunteer. I'm just talking about filling out the
Oh,
application.
okay, sorry.
I need to have the tuition ready and to pay at the time that I fill out the application. Or do I fill it out, send it in? Can I, is there a deposit? How does that work?
Yeah, the website will walk you through. There is actually a deposit that you can put in there. And then we'll invoice you for the remainder of the balance. So you don't have to worry about getting it in or doing anything right away. So you can actually wait until we send you the invoice and just there's a spot where you can either say you're going to pay by check, or there's a spot that you can actually put a credit card in there and actually pay the camp fees, which are it's the deposit for that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
How much is the deposit, Kevin's asking? Can I ask that? You remember how much you're asking for a deposit?
It typically is, it's a, there's a $50 fee, and then it's about $200 altogether, but for deposit. And again, it doesn't have to be paid for you to finish the application. You can actually just click through those screens and say that you'll send a check in. So you don't have to worry about that part of it if that's prohibiting as well for people. We don't want to, stop anybody. Oh, I was reading the chat.
This is Josh. So I just read the message, and I'll talk with Kevin about that point. So far, all of the staff are deaf and of course signing. So we may have an interpreter involved if needed, but the goal there is really to encourage the students to build their social skills. And some students who may be hard of hearing, who may speak for themselves or use cute speech, or some students may sign. So we're going to have a variety of communication modes there. So we probably will have an interpreter there if needed. Mm-hmm.
And this is Matt. I just want to add that my son is a signer, but he also speaks very well. So there would be, he will be able to communicate with different kinds of campers. But if that's a concern, there will be campers who have multiple modalities.
Okay, does that answer the question? Okay, great.
And this is Kevin. I just want to emphasize, Josh just mentioned that there are all kinds of modes of communications, different modalities. The point of the camp is for our kids to meet each other, to have fun, to grow, to have personal achievements, and to really feel that confidence build. And we don't want communication to be a barrier. So we're going to make sure that each camper has access, period. That's very important to us.
We are always available for questions. Again, we are developing this. We are looking for this to be a collaborative process. So as we start to open up applications, if any questions come in, please reach out right away to us. Again, this is, like Kevin mentioned, this is really a process between, not just camp, interpreting services, Vector School. We really want to make sure that, you're feeling comfortable with sending your camper and this being a great experience. So if there's anything we can do to put your mind at ease about this experience, please reach out. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great.
Absolutely, says Kevin. Oh, yes.
Okay.
And Liz is asking Jason if he's excited. Jason is Josh and Liz's child that you can see on camera. And he says, oh, yeah. And Kevin's saying, any parents who have been a little quiet, if you have any questions, please speak up, especially around application.
Josh says it's very busy around here. Sam?
Cheyenne had a quick question. She wanted to know if there are outlets so she can plug in her phone at night to make sure it's charged to keep in touch with, mom and dad and stuff.
Absolutely. We kind of, we hope that you wouldn't have to worry too much about your phone while you're at camp because you'll be so busy.
Yes.
But
Oh no.
there is a space, there are spaces that you can plug things in. So we always,
No, I just wanted to know so I could call my folks. That's all. Just want to be able to contact my mom and dad.
Thank you.
And Liz is saying if there's a chance that this could become a year-round program, kids could go year-round. There might be more opportunities outside of summer to send them.
Mhm.
This is Matt. Can I get the address? I wanted to see the slide presentation. And some links that you guys were going to share because I missed that.
Yes, give me 1 second and I will put I will put our camp email address into it. And then I believe the plan is to send out the recording of the presentation, and we will certainly, I think it's no problem, we'll include our slides as well.
Excellent. Thank you.
So we really appreciate everybody coming and we hope we've answered questions that you had. And like we said, if you have any other questions, that's our general email address. But myself and Lori, who is our camper relations coordinator at camp, answer that. So between the two of us, we will answer any questions that you might have via email. And Lori is phenomenal with the application process. That is what she does for the whole time. And we support hundreds of campers that come to camp and fill out applications every year. So she's a great person and a great resource. And she answers that email address as well. So if you get hung up on something with the application process, please shoot us an email into that ptcamp@pinetreesociety.org and we will get right on it. So thank you all. We appreciate everybody for coming. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, we don't want to hold everybody. We know it's a lot and we appreciate you taking some time out tonight to talk to us and get to know us a little bit better. So we're really excited, really looking forward to it. Please share the information with other friends and anybody else that you might know that would benefit from this program. And we're super excited to host it and have everybody here in August.
All right, Josh, that's a good deal. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you too. Goodbye.